Hey, this is Maggie,
And this is James,
and you're listening to Directors on Tap.
the podcast where we sit down weekly to discuss film industry news, new favorites, and what we're watching.
Today we're talking about Depaul's COVID response and how online film classes are a joke.
Because they are. All right, so let's get right into it. First things first, you may have noticed, unless you're just listening on Spotify or Google Podcast or Apple Podcast or any of the audio-only things, we have no video this week because it was impractical on a short notice. We're kind of, but we wanted to get another
One of
episode.
us is not in the same state.
Yes, so things are a bit wild. I don't even have my usual mic set up, so my audio quality is going to be lesser too. But we wanted to get another episode out to get our momentum back. So, Mags, speaking of momentum,
Yeah.
do you feel like you have any momentum when you're taking online film classes?
Absolutely not.
Oh, what a coincidence. Me neither. Oh my gosh. I think it's the worst for classes that would normally be very hands-on, like our TV class that we're taking right now. Like, I don't know, have you seen, I'm sure you've seen it before, like the Depaul TV set and with the switchboards and everything.
At Cinespace?
No, and it's in the CDM building, I think, if I'm remembering right.
Oh, are you talking about the You're not talking about like the sound editing room, are you?
No. We got like a whole like TV, like little TV studio. Oh, it's not in CDM. It's actually in the basement of the Depaul building. But it's it's like a whole TV studio. No. Yeah, they have like a whole TV studio with like live switchboards and multicam setup and everything.
Oh shit.
And our class is basically let's
That makes
play
me so
TV
sad.
show. Yeah, exactly.
It makes me so sad. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
like,
so
I thought because she said Cinespace, this class would be taken at. So
no, we got
that's why.
Yeah.
But I haven't taken a TV class before this one, other than television foundation. So I don't think I would have been in that area.
Yeah, it's I just saw it because I think I remember seeing it on the tour, and also I took an editing class that was in that area. Not in that TV thing, but it was in the basement, same spot.
A tour, like orientation, or in a class?
I think it was. I don't even think it was a part of orientation. I think it was just like touring the school before after applying or whatever.
Oh, yeah, I didn't do that.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm 30 minutes away. And I don't need
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, the first thing I'm going to say is like, I'm going to use our cinema production class that we took together as like a basis to like refer to, and how like the ones that we are taking now are not like that. Oh,
not at all.
And like so we took a cinema production class last fall. Yeah. Right? Was it last fall? No, it wasn't last fall.
It was
oh my gosh, winter. That was wow. No, James, this is almost 2 years ago now.
Oh, that's not okay.
That just messed with my head.
I feel old.
Okay, this was like a year and a half ago. We took a cinema production class, and it was very hands-on, and we got to work with camera equipment, like light rigs, like shot a short film for our final project on a stage at our school's film studio. And
no, even bigger than that. It wasn't even our school's film studio. It was Cinespace.
Sorry. DePaul has a part of Cinespace, and there's plenty of other stages there that Chicago PD shoots on, Chicago Fire, a lot of other TV shows
and movies
and film sets. Yeah. But with this class, like you get to have like that collaboration in like a film set like environment, and that's obviously completely different from sitting in front of a computer and watching a movie for class. So it's just to go from those two extremes are just, it's like, it's very jarring, and I hate it, and I want to be back in the city so bad.
Yeah, it's oh man, and my cinematography class, when I took that, I was constantly thinking like, you know how when we took our production class, like all of our like tests were like hands-on, like, you know, do the thing. type of test.
Yeah, like the classroom part? Or
Yeah, the classroom.
Yeah.
And like, but like ours were, for my cinematography class, like all of our tests or whatever were like, here's some questions that you can Google the answer to if you want, even if you don't even know, like, even if you know like the terms, you like you have like no practical knowledge of what you're doing and you could still pass these. And it just felt like such a, like, what is the point of this class?
Yeah. Actually, one thing that makes me think of is like, even if these were things that some of them, like most of them, I already knew, but if it was stuff that we were taking tests on that like mattered and that we really didn't know, and I'm learning that like on a computer over Zoom versus being in person, and them like showing me, like I'm a hands-on learner. So if I'm gonna take a test online versus someone showing me how to do it and then taking a test, is like completely different.
Like,
it'll stick in my head more too. It's like I'm taking a test online. I don't really I'm not like inclined to care really.
Yeah, and thank goodness that we're just like the type of film students who like are willing to learn stuff on our own too, because like I can't even imagine like taking some of these classes and not already, like, if I didn't already know all like the things we were learning in the cinematography class, I would be like, this is a pointless class to me. I mean, it sort of was anyways, but you know what I mean. Like,
no, yeah, for sure.
I think the very worst ones, though, not in terms of necessarily like the learning objectives, which I think the hands-on ones are the worst, but the absolute worst ones, I think, are like the creativity-oriented ones, doing those online. It is so just
Are you
agonizing.
Referring to?
Yes, my example.
I'm actually, so I was gonna say, I am only going to refer to professors who I've had a positive experience with. And if I haven't had a positive experience with them, I'm not gonna mention their name. But yeah, I was wondering if you're referring to the script analysis.
Yeah, that class and the other class I had that was taught by the same person, but it was also just, it's not, I don't think it's so much her. I mean, it is a little bit, but it's more that she teaches creative classes, and the creative classes online are so bad.
Yeah, they are.
Like, it's supposed to, you know, all be about like creative processes and things like that. But then it's just like, yeah, stare at computer screen, click some reading, type reply to reading in the most undynamic discussion board that's ever existed in the history of discussion boards. It's just so unnatural and not conducive to the point of the classes. It's yeah.
You know, I was gonna say, like, film is subjective, but like taking like a creative class like that one online, it's like, when I'm doing in-person hands-on stuff, it's like, this is how it's done, this is what this does, this is what this does, this is how you use it, go and do that. And the creative classes, it's so subjective that it's like, if you don't give her what she wants, like the material she gives us, it feels like it should be subjective, but it's not to her.
Yeah, like,
so it's like, I just don't know, like, it's so hard to give the professor what they want when they make it seem like, oh, like, you know, explore your creativity, be creative, like, I want your honest opinion on this, but then you give feedback where it's like, well, I don't like your opinion. Like, it's just like okay.
Like the thing that I wrote where the feedback I got, where this is the only time I've ever gotten feedback like this, where it was literally just like, this is too academic. I'm like, what? This is a college course. What do you mean my feedback's too academic? And literally, and just think, it's like, you have to try to guess what they thought of it. It's like, it's
one thing I was gonna mention too is that the past year since the pandemic started, I've been trying to take classes that are like quote unquote easy or like not hands-on. So it's like, I've filled up my 4 classes every quarter with ones that are not hands-on, and I've been doing that for a whole year. and it's gotten to a point where I don't have any more non-hands-on classes left to take. So it's like last quarter I had to start taking hands-on classes online, and they're horrible, obviously, because they're meant to be in person. So now I'm starting to have to take those, and it's not good.
It's not good at all. Oh man, I think the classes that, like how you said you were trying to take ones that are less hands-on, I think the best suited classes for it are the writing classes, but even more so like the film theory based classes. Like when we took film aesthetics, like even though film aesthetics was like a slog to get through just because Stasioulis, I mean, I like Stasioulis, but
he's great.
He's crazy. But like that class didn't feel much different than when I had him in person. It was just like a different format. So I think the film theory classes like adapted very well. But
some of my classes, like the VFX class, film philosophy, like all the screenwriting classes, like you said, like they're not too bad online because like they're not very hands-on, and like and in-person classes for those ones would be similar to me sitting at my computer at home because it would just be in a classroom.
Exactly.
I was also going to say that like after these classes were over and ended after finals, like I still found myself like wondering about what it would have been like to have those professors in person. There's like some that I'm just like, okay, I don't really care, like you weren't very passionate about what you were teaching, so I'm probably gonna forget about you and your name. But there were some of them that were like really fun, like Ethanol,
oh, he's great,
who we both had, and for film philosophy. So I just like it makes me like wonder what he would have been like in person and what some other people would have been like, and I don't know, I just feel overall the past year I just feel like I've missed out on so much that could have been.
yeah the writing classes, I think the one thing that felt like a draw. I can't talk. that did feel like a drawback for the writing classes was the table reads, because like in all the the table reads, doing those online are just, most of the time we get sent to breakout rooms for table reads in my online writing classes, we just didn't even do it. We were just like, what?
Yeah, or you just like, okay, let's read it by ourselves.
Yeah. But like it's much like the table reads on Zoom just are not, I mean, they can be good, but in the academic setting it's just like no one's in the mood, and it's just the vibe is not there.
I mean, it makes sense because like table reads are meant to be
at a table,
you know, literally big rectangular circle of people.
A big rectangular circle.
I said rectangle or circle.
Oh, he said rectangular circle. My bad.
I don't think that would make sense.
Yeah, I was very confused.
But no, the screenwriting class that I had my freshman year, when we did table reads, like they were fun because people were into them.
Oh yeah.
And people got into the characters because it's like everyone's there.
Yeah. Even if like the script that you're reading wasn't good, it was still made fun by like the dynamic.
And it like made me pay attention to what was going on more, because I feel like a lot of times if I don't have a part that I'm reading in the table read for the online classes, I literally just
zone out.
Check out. I don't know what's happening by the time it's over. But like if it's in person, even if I don't have a part, I could probably reread the story and tell you what it was without looking at the script. Yeah,
exactly. It's such a difference in just engagement.
Exactly.
It's so much less engaging. I mean, you can just see that by how many people just don't even turn their cameras on, me included. And it's, oh man, it's such just a mess in general.
It is. Speaking of a mess, I want to talk about our class that we're in together this quarter, television production.
Oh yeah.
So like this class is similar to the cinema production class that I talked about earlier. And for this one, the like big project that we have and how our professor kind of explained it in the beginning was that she originally was supposed to have 15 people in this class, and that's usually how the class works. She gets 15 people, and they probably would have gone to this television set that you've talked about and made a show. But she got 25 people this quarter and was just like overwhelmed with that, so she had to like break us up into 2 separate groups, and then those groups are broken down into 4 units each, and we both have to make our own versions of the script that we're given. And so each unit has, I think, 6 people, I think, I'm not sure, but each set of units like got assigned to positions like director, editor, producer, showrunner, and so on, and we have to basically take the script we were given and make it from start to finish. And then at the end of the class, we have to, I guess, like run it as if it were on air. And so for my unit, I'm director, and it's been like a big mess. And we like initially we were gonna do this thing on Zoom, like we were gonna shoot it as if it were on Zoom, and it would have just been really hard to get the actors to do that. And so we decided to animate it, which is James was supposed to be a director for his unit, but he switched to animation.
Yeah, because I was the only one who could animate.
Yeah. And even still, like the other day, we had a shooting day on Zoom where I had to direct one of our actors. He was our first actor that we had. This was like day 1 of shooting. And
shooting in quotes.
Yeah, if you can even call it that. And because we went with animating it, there really wasn't much for me to give notes on other than the way he delivered his lines. And in the end, we talked to our producer and showrunner, and we said, like, hey, we don't really see a point in having this actor, who's primarily a voice actor, by the way, so he's usually not seen on screen anyways, like, be on Zoom and just be a waste of time. So we ended up having all of our actors send in audio clips.
Yeah, based on like notes that you guys would send them.
Yeah. And even that, it's like, I don't even get to do my job.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just writing in the margins of a script and sending it off to the actors.
It's the nice thing is I've just been kind of not sitting around doing nothing, but I've just been drawing basically so far. I'm going to hate myself once it comes time to actually animate all these episodes, since I'm the only animator. But at this point, I've just been like designing characters and making backgrounds, and that's pretty much it.
At least with that, like with animating, it's like, I guess you don't have the in-person conversations and collaborative like environment for that, but for animating, like, I don't know how different it would be for the actual animation part. Like, it's not like,
well, I wouldn't be animating at all if it wasn't online.
No, I know, but I'm just saying that specific role I don't think is, but yeah, still, like, it's just this is ridiculous.
It
like
is.
I like, we're in a directing concentration. I can't even do my job for this class. It's like there's nothing for me to do, really.
Yep. I'm animating in this class, in this television production class. I'm basically just doing an animation class.
Yeah, it's such a mess.
Oh boy. It's that's an understatement. And when you were saying like, oh yeah, we all got to assign these roles, I was just thinking like that fell apart so quickly. Like,
yeah. Oh man. It just, you saying that there's a television studio, like, that's probably where it would have been, has been in the back of my mind like since you said it, because every time I talk about something about this class, I'm like visualizing like, oh, we would have been like, someone would have been operating cameras, like, would have been directing. It's like, nope, that's all out the window because of Zoom University. Well, I guess just to like recap what's like hard about this is that like the hands-on film classes are designed for in person, and there's plenty of classes that are no problem being taken online. Like, even in different majors, there's plenty of classes that you'd probably be sitting at a computer anyways in a classroom. But when it comes to ones where you should be working with a camera on a film set, it's impossible to get that type of experience.
Yeah.
Just like sitting in front of a screen.
Oh man, I can't imagine imagine being an editing major and you haven't had the cash yet or the time to build an editing rig, and you're trying to edit, and like you're taking a lot of editing courses right now on whatever computer you have access to. That would not be good. Or a visual effects major. Oh, that'd be even worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be not good. Visual effects, for anyone who doesn't know, is the special effects done on a computer specifically. So that takes beefy hardware.
And then actually, even with our next quarter, the fall quarter, it's already been a mess. Just even trying to schedule classes has been impossible. We
such a nightmare.
Yeah, you talk about yours.
All right, so mine. So first of all, I'm looking through my course options, right? 3 possible classes that are offered that I can take. Only 3. Of these 3, one of them is a prerequisite for the other, and that's a prerequisite that I already took, passed, got an email from the professor saying that they had the wrong grade in the system and that they'll fix it, but then it hasn't gotten fixed yet, so it still says I have to take that class. So I'm trying to get that fixed, but so I can't even take, just unless this gets fixed, I can't even just go take the class that it was a prerequisite for. And then the other class, the third class that was available, me and Mag signed up for, got an email saying that it was a mistake, invite only. We shouldn't have been able to sign up for it. Basically got kicked out of the class. So,
that one was ridiculous. So
for all intents and purposes right now, I'm either taking 1 or none courses next fall, because they were only offering 3, are now only offering 2, one of which is the prerequisite for the other. And I don't have any other classes available that I need to take for my degree. So
So the one of the classes that we were supposed to take together, the Project Blue Light one, that was just like the cherry on top of messing up this whole scheduling thing, because I finally got like 4 classes set out, then realized that then got an email from, like James said, about them saying that it's by approval only. Like, you have to, they sent us this form, they said fill out this form by I think a couple days from yesterday, so like they only gave us a few days to do it. So you'd have to fill out that form, which had multiple questions, multiple you'd have to give multiple paragraph answers, and then you would be considered for the class. Yeah. That wouldn't mean that you get in, that you would just be considered.
I don't think it was even a few days. Wasn't it like the day of that they sent that email? They were like, hey, get this in by tonight or something like that? No, it wasn't that bad? Days. Okay. It was still ridiculous.
Even so, like, it's just, and if you're going to say, they said, like, administration messed up. They owned that. So at least, like, fix it for us. Like, at least, like, we can get you into this other class. Like, we'll make up another seat for this class or do something. It's kind of ridiculous that they can just, like, take that class away from us, and then we have to go find another one, which by the time that they sent this email, people had already gotten into all these classes. Like, seats were filled. Even the waitlist seats were filled. So we couldn't even get into any classes.
I forgot to mention that about my predicament also. Depaul also screwed up with my payments, and even though I had paid for this quarter, they still wouldn't let me sign up for classes for like 3 days after the fact. So even the ones that I had managed to sign up for, those 2 classes, I was waitlisted for both. So yeah. Yeah. This Depaul is a mess.
They're a huge mess.
Yeah, the mess isn't even a good enough word. I don't even know what word.
Oh my God. I was checking the class. I thought I got in. It says I'm a waitlist 7th position.
Oh.
For writing the feature screenplay.
Oh, it's a good class. You'll be writing a lot though. It's like 10 pages a day. Not a day, a week. 10 pages a day would be insane. We did that though for the 2 days of the redacted.
We did.
We did. I should have been actually that oh man. That was the other class where I got in like I was waitlisted initially on that one, so I got in like the second week, and then I turned in the stuff for the first week, and then they marked it late, and I was like, I wasn't in this class. like how was I supposed to
yeah, that's
I even like emailed them about it too, and I was like, hey, I don't know if you noticed, but I wasn't here, and they're like, oh well. I was like, what? I still got an A in the class, so it was fine. It was just goofy. I was just like, all right. Anyways. Oh man, all right. What else do we have to say about Zoom University DePaul edition? I think, despite all of this, them patting themselves on the back for not raising tuition in that very self-congratulatory email, and then them sending us masks, I think, those really made up for all of it.
That was absolutely I don't even have the words for it.
That was so
oh my God, that was so bad.
It was so tone deaf and just so what the heck am I reading?
I know, they were just like, we have decided not to raise tuition. Like,
and they said it in like such a self-congratulatory and like, we're your benevolent overlords manner.
Yeah. Like, we're not these other universities that are lowering tuition. We're just gonna stay at where we are.
Yeah, they're like, for the first time over. Didn't they even like note like, for the first time in this many years, we're not going to raise tuition.
Yeah. Like, that was what they said. That's so oh my God, that's I can't believe they said those words.
How the heck did that get through like whatever department would be in charge of like checking their shit before they send it out? Like, how did no one go, this is a bad idea?
It's beyond me. I remember getting those masks too. I was standing in my driveway. I got the mail, and my whole family was standing outside because they were about to leave. And I remember my sister Katie going like, or she said something just like, I opened them up. She was like, "Oh, cool, masks." And I pulled out my phone and I just made a video to put on Instagram, my Instagram story. And I just put like the Rickrolled music over it because I was just so upset. I was just like, really? Yeah. You sent us masks?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was
cool. Good on you. How much did this cost you? Like,
oh my gosh.
Like, this is where our money's going. You're just gonna send us masks.
You know what they're gonna say next fall? They're gonna be like, they're gonna make an announcement. Because we've realized we needed to adapt better given this whole COVID situation. So because of that, and to adapt for your benefit, we're going to raise tuition again. Oh man. It is. Oh man. I love how this podcast slowly went from complaining about the classes to the administration. Oh man.
Well, they're both
I mean,
reasonable.
One leads, one's the fault of the other, so
it is, yeah.
Exactly. And I think it was kind of goofy. Like, didn't they just at the start of this too was also handled super weird? Like they waited until like the last day of the previous quarter to when they announced like that everything was being shut down and all that. You remember that?
I don't remember that.
You don't remember? It was literally because like
wait, so when? But you're confusing me with how you're saying the timeline. Wait, when was it?
Oh, so I was at it was the last day of the quarter before everything got shut down. Okay. And I was at your and Burson's apartment, and we got like it was like,
oh right,
yeah, it was like late at night. It just seemed like so like last minute. Like the administration didn't even know what the heck they were doing at that point. They were just like,
yeah,
it was so out of the blue. They were just like, yeah, we're just nothing's in person. Go away.
I remember this because I remember them basically kicking everyone out of the dorms.
Yeah.
And saying, well, like people had to just pick up and leave, and it's like, well, what if they don't have anywhere to go?
Mm-hmm.
Like some of these people don't live in Chicago. They don't have like I don't know, their parents don't live in the suburbs where they can just go home to. And I remember a lot of people being upset about that. It was ridiculous that they kind of just kicked them out without any kind of like, I don't know, support.
Yeah, that was
So our school really doesn't care about us, is what we're trying to say.
Yeah, that sounds about right. It's honestly ridiculous and all that.
Yeah, when you're talking about how we like found out about it like very suddenly, I remember, I'm pretty sure it was the same week that me and Burson just had to like leave the apartment, because I just remember my parents being like, you gotta come home. And I also remember me and you were supposed to go see a movie.
Yeah, we were supposed to see 2001 and Interstellar.
And my mom, I remember calling. It was so weird. I remember feeling so weird that I had to call my mom to ask if I could go to a movie because I was worried about COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And this was early on. This was in like beginning of March.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was like right when it started. So it felt really weird. And I remember personally just having to pack everything up and leave. And yeah, it was not fun.
Not at all. I remember just being like, what the hell? Like, that just threw so many plans out the window. Like,
oh, so many. Yeah. There were so many plans we had for the rest of the winter and spring quarter. Like, there were so many things we were looking forward to doing, and just everything went out the window.
Yeah, everything from obviously like that movie to a concert.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff.
We would have been to so many concerts by now.
Oh yeah, that's an understatement.
And I keep joking about how when I can finally go to a concert again, I'm gonna like cry of happiness. And really, it's not a joke. I will probably do that.
I mean, I can't blame you. So yeah,
there's just like, there's so many things, at least from this weekend, like there's definitely something to like learn. Like, I feel like I'm already starting to be more appreciative of a lot of things that I took for granted before. So although things have been shitty, it's still something to learn from.
Yep. There's for example, we can learn that don't take classes online if they're hands-on. Yeah. Don't learn cinematography in an online course. Don't take creativity classes from certain professors online. Unless you want to die inside.
Thanks for listening to Directors on Tap.
As always, you can check out our Instagram and Twitter pages at Directors on Tap for some behind-the-scenes content and to stay up to date with the latest episodes.
Join us next week for more film talk.
And next time, hopefully with video.